8th, 2023 City Council meeting, City of Colfax to order. And we will go ahead and start with a flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, let's see here. We'll go ahead and start with a roll call, please.
Councilmember Lehman.
Here.
Councilmember Douglas.
Present.
Councilmember Ackerman is not here, and Councilmember Mendoza is not here. Or Mayor Pro Tem Mendoza is not here. Mayor Bruce.
Here. All right. Can we get an approval of the agenda order?
Move to approve.
All in favor?
Got it.
Motion approved. Moving to the consent calendar. All items on the consent calendar considered routine in nature will be moved on one blanket motion. Would anybody like to pull an item from consent? Seeing none, can I get a motion to approve the consent calendar?
Move to approve consent calendar.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Did I get 3 ayes there?
Aye.
Perfect.
Aye.
Okay, moving to agency reports, starting with Placer County Sheriff's Department.
Good evening.
I'm sorry, Placer County Sheriff's Office. I know you hate when I say department.
There's not a lot to go over. I played this last week with the runners going to our snowmobiles, we got out there going to do the normal work, welfare checks. Our repeater at one location was running out of power. The power got shut off, so we used our snow cat to fill up the generator up there and keep that thing fuel during a part of the storm. Keep our radio communications. This one was unlike the last one last year where we owned the trees down. Cal Fires worked with PG&E getting in there, getting the cables out of the way, cut those trees, getting roads out. It really opened it up where the need hasn't been as great as what we were expecting. But we're prepping now for this next storm coming in, what they call that Pineapple Express that's supposed to hit us about midnight tomorrow. Bring down a lot of water on top of that snow. We're expecting flooding to happen in the lower regions of the county. So I've already started to get our swift water teams, our flood rescue teams up and running. Take us through the weekend and see where we end up. Other than that, I found nothing else. Any questions there?
I have no questions, council. Okay, thank you. All right, CHP.
Hi, good evening. I'm Officer Jason Lyman. I'm over on CHP. It's all doing well. As Sergeant Griffin just said, that we had a lot of weather over the last week, a lot of snow, a lot of road closures. We had an interesting one last night on North Grade, a couple of big rigs that got misdirected somehow. I'm not sure exactly how they ended up down there, but ended up crashing and rolling themselves over, one on top of the other one, and it was quite a recovery effort to get that all cleaned up. The rain that's coming is obviously going to melt a lot of the snow and going to be just a tremendous amount of water. So the roadways are going to be very flooded and going to be difficult, even with the drains all open and clear. It's going to be a lot of standing water on the road, and I remind people that if something's flooded, please don't drive through it. You know, if you can't see the bottom, you don't know what's there. There could easily be a big washout that's, you know, several feet deep that you just can't see. And so anyway, you just gotta be safe and keep your eyes on things and move through everything slowly and safely. Any questions for me?
No questions, just echoing your comments that if Caltrans says use an alternate route, I just want everyone to understand there's no alternate route. Just go home. Don't do it. The roads are closed. All right, Placer County Fire Department, Cal Fire.
Good evening, Council. Bob Council, Assistant Chief with Cal Fire, Placer Fire. Up on the screen, I have our stats for the month of February. Excuse me. Station 30 for Colfax ran 82 incidents last month. 59 of those were within city limits, becoming 36. We had 9 responses from volunteers throughout. Volunteer training this month, initial incident and training for that. Our fleet is in good shape currently. Rescue 36 was a week ago, and last week into 98 was repaired. It had a slight transition. It's back up. That's how it's our EOC, if the county level is back open again, we have presence in the fire rescue branch with the Clutch County Fire and Chief. They've been coordinated responses to snow removal, down trees, power line, working with the sheriff's office and roads, Caltrans. So that's been open since last week. They did proclaim a local emergency, and it was ratified on Tuesday. But we included in the state's disaster declaration. Okay. But we were remiss if I didn't thank PG&E for all their strong work they've been doing, reporting power in our communities. I know Chief Lotus worked them last week in view of Chevron, the residents that were at power for most 5 days ago. Lotus work. As well as Caltrans, County Roads, Martin District, all the work. And with the storm, I know Kevin already mentioned it, but we have a long storm approaching us. We're pretty concerned about the one coming on top of all this stuff that so you're enough for response. We staffed extra ambulance, we put a second engine up at all the station, as well as the county's task our crews, LOES, out of last winter. We staffed additional crews, stocking. 2 Fridays ago, we had a multi-casualty incident on I-80 at Concordia Road. There were 20 vehicles involved. So people up the second hand of that. We only ended up having about 4 injuries out of it. But we ended up taking with lower people down to our training center in Auburn. We done one and saved 5 the MCI went flawlessly. Actually received accolades for their Sacramento Valley giving us how our crews handled that. We're proud. And lastly, our last week, our first command center in Grass Valley lost all the power in kind of on moments. It was a big deal for public safety and they had to enact their continuity of operations plan and ended up rolling back out of the sheriff's office. We rolled all of our dispatcher and with that,
I don't have any, but does council?
No questions.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
thank you.
All right. Do we have any of our nonprofits here this evening who'd like to make a report? Seeing none. Do we have any online, Marguerite? I just wanted to double check because I know Green Machine has some stuff going on this weekend, so I don't know if they wanted to make a report.
If there's any nonprofits on Zoom, can you raise your hand?
None? Okay. All right. We don't have any presentations or public hearings this evening, so we're going to move to public comment. If anyone has a public comment on an item not on tonight's agenda, now would be the time if you want to come forward.
Last meeting, the sheriff presented a display of products that used to build the council for the buildings. Products like those products that were here were identical to the products that the sheriff had received in a range of different those products were taken from an illegal adult commercial retailer, and that kind of business is our competition, and that's the kind of business that allowing adult use sales in Colfax really does work. It's upward use of the illegal market, not created. So instead of paying tax dollars to investigate illegal retail sales of cannabis, while not gaining any tax revenue from those products sold legally, probably backwards from what the state asking and Other than that, there's a new grant for local ordinances that don't have cannabis sales in their vicinity. Colfax isn't, it's not available to Colfax because the state doesn't recognize it at retail level and working. So we look at the state's at Colfax allows retail sales, not available. And any other town that doesn't have any kind of program of retail sales, it's not no more questions. There's an application process. It's why cities that don't have pay for licensing.
Thank you, Tim. Do you have any additional public comment? Did you have a handout for us at all?
No.
Oh, okay. Do we have any public comment online?
We do have the things from June.
Okay.
Can you hear us?
Thank you as always for your time and thoughts.
Thank you.
Joining me now is
The quality of tonight's broadcast, particularly from the podium, has been extremely difficult to follow.
taking specific action in the course of this dilemma. So can you tell me
From the podium, we'll use an alternate microphone.
61 microwatts on Fox News so far this
you
year.
guys, one of the unlucky souls that have been counting that.
Yeah, so we have taken.
Do you have any additional comments?
And I think the discussion you were having earlier about what should happen. Accountability, I think we're going to start to see it. And part of it is going to be financial. Part of it's going to be their power because they are sort of strategic.
Is that any better?
It's going to come from a series of cascading consequences. So the thing that we did is that we filed a complaint with the FTC. We need to pull the thread on what you were talking about.
Not yet.
Jane, can you move this microphone better?
That he shared with the Trump campaign. That is an illegal contribution. It is very clear. The law is extremely well established. It says that corporations can't make a contribution. That non-material things of value, material things of value can be counted as a contribution.
Yeah.
And
Okay, do we have any other public comments?
Nothing on
Okay. All right, with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and close the public comment period. We're gonna go to council and staff reports, starting with Sean.
Nothing to report tonight.
Okay, Tim?
Okay, I attended the quarterly city county event down in Lincoln. And it was at the ISO Independent System Operators. They're the ones that control the power grid in California and part of Nevada. And they monitor 26,000 miles of electrical lines and high voltage lines, and they buy and sell power from all over Western United States. It was impressive. The building down in Lincoln is a new building. I think they paid $58 million and built the building. And Josh Alpine.
You're not out of time, keep going.
Gee, that was 5 minutes, right? And Josh Alpine gave us a mini tour, and we weren't allowed to take pictures, but it was impressive. It reminded me of the things you see on TV with NASA, and you're looking in there with all the monitors going and lights flashing, and it was pretty impressive. And in addition to moving electricity from different parts, they also do 26,000 transactions a day. It's like Wall Street, where Pioneer Energy will buy electricity from someplace and they might sell it to somebody else. And, you know, it was an impressive. I wish we could have had a video. It was very impressive. It's
There's a reason you can't have a video.
and there's only 9 of these companies in all of North America.
Mhm.
And the ISO in Lincoln is one of the 9 for all North America. And they, so anyhow, besides getting a free meal, I got a tour of the ISO. Thank you.
I'm very sad I did not get to go to that. My babysitter was not willing to come in the snow. Okay, for my report, I just want to bring up when it's your turn, Wes, I'm really hoping we can get an update on the FEMA information for the grant program. If you have any of that tonight. And then we had a LAFCO meeting today, finally got the Sudby NEQ annexation done for City of Lincoln. So that was very controversial and very happy to get that done. Let's see here. What I am hoping is that I'll have some council support. I want to bring forward an ordinance that would basically make it so that for any kind of emergency issue where roads are concerned in the city limits, we can reach out to the private ownership associations and HOAs for those roads and have them provide a mitigation plan for storms or something that's coming up, so they can let us know, hey, we have plows scheduled. We've already done the steps we need to do. And then make it so that if they are unable to provide those reports or they've been unable to set up their mitigation plans, that we can step in as the city and provide those plowing services de facto. So I want to introduce that as an ordinance so that we're able to effectively go in there and we're, liability wise, we are covered to take that action. And then the other thing I wanted to report on and just bring up is just the Colfax High School girls basketball team won the NorCal State Championships on Tuesday night. And on Friday, they're going to be playing for the state championship at Golden One Center. So 2 p.m. on Friday, $16 admission will get you in for the whole day for all the games. Definitely worth it. I will definitely be going. Everybody should go to that. We should have a huge turnout of support. I was so proud of them that I immediately started emailing all of our partner agencies and saying you should send people because we're the last team in the Sacramento region still standing. So SACOG, I asked SACOG to go. Everybody.
And also adding on to that girls basketball team, they all have 4.0 averages.
Yes. They are definitely superstars. I don't know any other way to put it. Very impressed. I think that's all I've got. So Wes, your turn.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'll go ahead and start off with the FEMA grant. Is what we applied for, a home hardening and defensible space grant through FEMA. The application was submitted to Cal OES in there. So the FEMA is worth $6 million. And the intent is to be able to provide home hardening funding to homeowners to replace siding on the homes, the windows, roofing if needed on the back end of it. So that way they can make their home better moving forward. So at this point, it's past Cal OES. It is now at the FEMA stage for consideration. So it only took them 4 months to get through the Cal OES side of it. So it's looking good. We have no additional comments from FEMA at this time. So we think it's going to get funded, hopefully, maybe late fall or so.
Okay, well, that's good news. So maybe by summer, we might have some kind of a feeler for any additional comments or how it's going, maybe, hopefully.
If it's anything like the first round, we didn't hear anything from them for 2 months. And then we got a whole slug of questions that we had to address. And then we didn't hear from them for another month. And then we provided more feedback, and then we didn't hear from them at all until we got the notice that it was moving on. So it ebbs and flows. It's just, we just don't know when it's coming, the request or anything else like that. We just have to address it as it comes in.
Okay.
There. The second item is I was actually asked by Tom Parham, came in and visited me today, to give an update on the Colfax Hotel and where it stands. So we did the plan review for the structure improvements, and we had about 50 comments on the plans that need revision, but there was another question that we had to have answered, which is whether or not the building qualified for historical designation, because that substantially changed the requirements for the improvements for the building, i.e. whether or not it needs an elevator. So it took us a couple of weeks working back and forth to kind of get that answer. And we believe that we have the authority as a local jurisdictions to designate that as a historical designation. So we have done such, And so now they're moving forward with the plans and hopefully getting a resubmittal to us here shortly. There's still
Fantastic.
3 agreements that were outstanding with them that they need to do. One is the acquisition of the frontage property that would be brought for council for consideration because that's where their staircase and landing is going to go in that front area. They also need additional parking, so we need to work with them and UP to get a sublease to the parking area by the depot building. And the third is a request to amortize the sewer impact fees on their over a 5-year period, all of which will come before council for consideration.
Wonderful.
That's all I got tonight, Madam Mayor.
Okay, well, with that being said, unless there's any questions from council.
One quick question. Does that mean we do need an elevator or we do not have to have an elevator?
We do not have to have an elevator.
Okay, that's good. That is good
Yeah.
news.
Yeah.
Really good news. Okay, well, with that being said, we'll move to item 9A. This is for Mayor Pro Tem Mendoza's leave of absence. So do we have a staff presentation on the item?
Nick, do you want to give a brief presentation or do you want me to do it?
Sure. Either way, it's really fairly straightforward. Councilmember Mendoza has been placed on medical leave by her physician. She's asked the council to approve a 6-week leave of absence. The law on this is a little bit fuzzy. Essentially what it says is that if a council member is absent without permission from all regular council meetings for 60 consecutive days, the office becomes vacant. It is not clear what constitutes permission, so we thought the best thing to do was to bring it before the council, ask the council to adopt a resolution giving her that permission. I think we've said the resolution provides for a leave until April 12th, which is the first meeting after the 6-week period expires. The second issue really is who is going to serve as mayor pro tem in the interim. And that's completely up to the council. There is no protocol at this point. When the mayor pro tem is on leave, the council can appoint anyone they want, any member of the council they want to serve in that position. That's all I have, Madam Mayor. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So one thing that I wanted to bring up that didn't come up as part of this is, and I'm just speaking from a place of kind of knowing how Marnie's doing right now. If we end up in the position that Marnie needs a further extension of this leave of absence, I want to know how the council feels about appointing someone interim in case we need to, because if we end up in a position where a council member can't be at a council meeting, like has happened like tonight, if we have like a quasi judicial issue, I don't want us to be short council members. So if this ends up having to be extended, I think at that time, we should have that conversation about appointing a temporary council member. But at this time, I don't feel like that's relevant or needed. 6 weeks isn't a long time. Any thoughts on Mayor Pro Tem?
Is that within our authority to appoint somebody to the seat?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Well,
Thanks, Mike.
I'd like to recommend we appoint as Mayor Pro Tem DA, not the district attorney, but David Ackerman.
I would support that. I also asked David before the meeting if he'd be comfortable with that because I didn't want to make assumptions, especially since he's not here tonight. So Sean, what are your thoughts?
I know David has a busy schedule, so that's kind of my one worry.
Mm-hmm.
If we're appointing somebody to be a standby,
Yeah,
have him here.
no, that's completely valid. Do you have an alternate recommendation?
This guy.
How do you feel about being put on the spot, Kim?
I don't want to be put on the spot.
Okay.
As long as there's pizza and beer to go with it.
Sorry, just tea to go with it.
Get the beer after.
Yeah, you get the beer after. Yeah, I'm perfectly happy either way. And I think that sounds good, having Kim do it, because that really is the fundamental purpose is if I'm not here, I need someone to run the meeting. So,
Yeah, he's a retired guy. He's got plenty of free time, right?
yeah.
All right.
All right. Well, if you're making a motion, I'm happy to second that.
Make a motion that we temporarily appoint Kim Douglas to Mayor Pro Tem in Marnie's absence.
Okay. I will support that. That's a yes from me.
I vote yes.
Okay. All right. Perfect. So it sounds like we've got that agreed upon. And in that case, do I have a motion to actually adopt the resolution?
Oh, yes. Make a motion to adopt resolution 9A or item 9A and for Mayor Pro Tem's leave of absence.
All right.
Second.
Do I have a second?
Yes.
Do I have a second? No. So, all
Either of you can second.
right. Favor. That officially is approved. All right, go to the order. Sean?
The Green Machine and Genie Falcon Crab Feed is this weekend, Saturday at the Service Center. I think there are a couple of tickets still available if anybody's looking. You can reach out to me or the Green Machine.
This is the third crab feed. Are there any left in the Pacific Ocean?
There's plenty.
So many.
I think this is the last one this year.
I'm trying to mention about the basketball team. I also wanted to mention the girls soccer.
Mhm.
Just 7 days apart from that same time, the girls won the Division IV Sacramento San Joaquin Division IV soccer finals. So, I
Do they have
mean,
additional games coming up?
they do, but I mean, they did already win one. Now they move to, the next plateau. But the fact that both, won their section is amazing. Our schools, we got the best elementary and high school in Northern California. It's as simple as that.
I know one of their all stars, Cara, she is actually on both teams and hurt herself during the soccer game. And so she was unfortunately unable to play during the last basketball game.
And it's a tough sport, that soccer.
Those are tough kids. That's what I gotta. Did you have anything else for good of the order?
Now, one other thing, I don't know if I should direct this to Caltrans or CHP, but I was caught in that madness with the road closures.
Mhm.
And the official announcement from Caltrans really did not match the reality of the closures. And I know we have that problem on and off in the wintertime, but somehow we need to come up with more communication. For example, people didn't think they could leave I-80 to go westbound, but they could. And so I know people that were staying here in Colfax. So it's just something to review. Of course, I think I say that almost every year, but.
I feel like sometimes there's a difference between what people are told and what they hear. So there might only be so much we can really tell them. But I just think we should always remind people that there's more to do in Auburn if you're stuck waiting, and it's only 15 minutes away.
Yeah, Grandma Sue's and TJ's and.
When there's this much snow. So, even if we wanted to host people, we really can't. I mean, there's not enough parking to have everybody filling up downtown. So, they want to come back when the sun is out. But, they've got a movie theater in Auburn.
Yeah.
Okay, if that's all you have, the only thing I have is I'm just going to ask if I have enough council support for us to bring forward an ordinance about the road mitigations for storms.
I want to see a little bit more on that before I commit to.
Well, the idea would be if we can at least put it on the agenda, we can talk about it. So if you guys are supportive of putting it on the agenda, that would be the first step.
Yeah, we can talk about it.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe we can put that on the next one if that's okay. Okay. That's all I've got though. You got anything, Wes?
I know, Madam Mayor. Thank you.
Awesome. We're adjourned. Thanks, everybody.